Hello, hello, happy Saturday. I have a shoe untied. It's gonna drive me crazy, so. Sorry about that. Wow. About tripped and fell over my own shoestring. So, never know what you're gonna get from me, do ya? Real and raw. Guys, if you're getting on here with me live, first of all, happy Saturday. If you're getting on here with me live, if you're catching a red live up in the corner, please just type live in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're catching me later on, it might say was live up there in that corner. Just means you're catching the replay, and that's great too. Feel free to watch it whenever you have a chance. You can type replay in the comments if you're watching the replay, and let me know where you're watching from, okay? My name's Jan. I live in Nebraska. And I love sharing our low-carb lifestyle. Because we were at a spot, Dave was struggling with diabetic numbers, and we needed to make a big change in our life. Some great supplements came into our life and helped control those cravings and helped us get into our low-carb way of eating. And we love it. We've been doing this going on 7 years, I think, something like that. Been a while. It's been a long time. So it's a really sustainable way to live. Just counting net carbs. That's what we do. Now, I started a group on Facebook called Diabetic Eats with Jan and Dave, where I talk about a lot of different things to do with our low-carb lifestyle. And if you're not in that group, but you would like to be in there, or maybe you know somebody who's diabetic who could use some tips and tricks, you don't even have to be diabetic to be in there, okay? Maybe just somebody looking to have some different recipes. Maybe you're looking for a little healthier lifestyle, getting rid of some of the preservatives, some of the artificial stuff. That's what we aim for. Not only low carb, but we like to have a more natural lifestyle, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm going to give you a little sourdough update, okay? So like I was saying, if you would like to be in the group, Diabetic Eats with Jan and Dave, you can search it on Facebook. Just go to the search bar, type in Diabetic Eats with Jan and Dave, yellow and blue banner, request to join, or you can drop group in the comments, and I will get you a link under that comment to tap and go over there and join. And you know, I'm always doing things like this, sharing recipes, trying new things. Today is not one of those days. We actually just got home. We'd been with the grandson. His parents were busy today, so we took him to his trap shoot. Today was a conference awards meet, and he went up and shot real well and received his award. And so then we came home and now we're going to go with my daughter and son-in-law to Nebraska volleyball tonight. So, and I'm so, this is one of the things that I kind of talked about this morning. I have never been in the Bob Devaney Sports Center to a volleyball game since they revamped it years ago to be just a volleyball venue. So I'm super stoked about this. Dave and I used to go when volleyball played at the Coliseum. They usually played 1 or 2 games a year at the Bob. We've been to some games at the Coliseum. And then when the Bob was still the basketball venue, they would open it up, and we always went to those games. But now we're going to get in, and we're going to finally go watch at the Bob when it's a volleyball. If you're not from Nebraska, I'm sorry. You know, it's kind of our thing. We are big Husker fans, and so this is exciting for us. But like I was saying, guys, if you've been following me too, you know I've been working on some sourdough. I'm curious about sourdough with bread, with how diabetic numbers react. And if anybody out there is a diabetic and you've tried sourdough, homemade, I'm not really looking to go to the store-bought and stuff, because typically there's so many preservatives and stuff like that in there that you don't really know what is in it. So if anybody's made homemade sourdough and see what it does to your blood sugar, I'd love to have you get in touch with me. Either private message me or drop it in the comments. But Several months ago, I ran across a type of flour that I have dabbled with, and this is what I'm using for my sourdough. So I don't mean to be mean when people have been trying to help me, and I understand that. But with the specialized flour that I'm using, it reacts a lot differently than regular all-purpose flour and stuff like that. So this is what I'm using, guys. This is Jovial. It's an einkorn flour, okay? I use this in some other recipes mixed with some different things. It does not seem to bump Dave's blood sugars very much. Hey, Dana. And for that, we love it, okay? Now, here recently, I got very curious. Like I said, I wanted to do the sourdough. I want to try it. But this is the flour that I'm using, guys. Okay? So this is whole wheat. Now I'm going to tell you just a little bit of a backstory here. They have this in whole wheat, and they have it also in an all-purpose. Okay? Now, it is pricier than regular flour. I'm going to be honest about that. But it's really a unique story because it is einkorn, the einkorn berries, it's an ancient grain, okay? So this wheat has never, ever been genetically modified. Now, if you're from somewhere that grows wheat, you know, and I remember this, I'm an old lady, I remember, you know, talking about walking through wheat, you know, when it was ready to harvest that was maybe waist or a little higher tall. And now the wheat, I'm not even sure it gets knee high anymore. They've modified it, genetically modified it, shrunk it way down. It gets more berries on it. But by doing that, it's changed so much of it, okay? And I'm just going to leave it there. Do your own research about genetic modifications and what that does, okay? But this is an ancient grain, okay? It is, I see other people talk about Durham wheat and there's a few other ones, but this is an einkorn wheat. It is grown, I'm not sure where this, yeah, it's unchanged for 12,000 years. It was grown, left untouched, as one of the oldest, purest foods in existence. The only wheat never hybridized, okay? So maybe we're not going to say genetically modified, but when they hybridize it, it changes it, okay? Hey, Shirley, how are you guys? If you're popping on here with me live, please let me know. While modern wheat is bred for higher yields and stronger gluten, think about that, einkorn's tiny grains stayed true to nature and less carbohydrates. Yes, yes. More protein and a deliciously sweet flavor. Just as wheat was meant to be, you can bake breads, cakes, cookies, and make fresh pasta with the whole wheat flour. Okay? Now, if you count carbs, anytime you have a whole grain or like the sprouted grains and some of those, typically the whole grain helps keep the blood sugar counts down. Hi, Terry. Hey, Shirley. So like I was saying, it's when you use whole wheat as opposed to this all-purpose, it's different, okay? So anytime you could, because this has more fiber in it, okay? Fiber in itself, hey Lily, hey Marie, fiber in itself helps hold down the glucose levels in your system, okay? Now, something else we have found too is if you eat protein ahead of your carbs, the protein also going into your system before the carbs will help keep your blood sugars down. So those are a couple of tips, but here's my thing. Hey, Debbie, I have baked this just recently I baked just a loaf of bread out of the all-purpose. And Dave's blood sugar spiked tremendously. I think, what did we figure, 90 points it went up? So it jumped way high. So, hey, Deb, the all-purpose flour is not something that I want to use very much. I can mix it with a few things. Now, I did use the all-purpose flour for my starter, okay? I started out trying to use the whole wheat. I wanted to do whole wheat completely, but the whole wheat starter is a lot more complicated, okay? This einkorn is a little different to work with than other things, and that is because of the gluten factor. So if you're used to making sourdough out of another flour, this is not going to be the same. Now, I'm following a gal that exclusively uses this, and I'm doing everything that she's telling me to do. So, hey, Linda, so I'm going to show you guys. Okay, I started out with this sourdough starter recipe, okay? And, you know, I did everything day 1, day 3, day 5. You leave it set out, you do its thing. Well, I think my starter was ready last week, but we weren't ready for me to bake it. So, you know, they kept saying, well, you could put it in the refrigerator for a couple of days and then kind of do a refresh in a couple of days. And I kept thinking, I'm going to kill this. I'm going to kill this. Well, I did do it. I got up the nerve. I didn't refresh it every day. I put it in the refrigerator and I refreshed it just every 2 to 3 days for the last week. And I managed to keep it going, okay? So another thing too, though, is I baked these loaves of bread. So I baked the one with this, the all-purpose, and he spiked way up. Then I baked a loaf with the whole wheat. And what did we get? About a less than 20 milligram spike. So this was 20, the all-purpose was 90. So huge difference in that. So this is what I'm going to be going to, but I used the all-purpose for my starter. So this morning, I thought, okay, this weekend's the weekend. I'm going to do my first loaf of sourdough. So this morning I got up and I needed to make 11. L-E-V-A-I-N. So I got out my directions and it said it could take up to 24 hours if your starter is young and not really, really good. Hey, Patricia, glad to have you. So about 9 o'clock this morning, I mixed this up and look at that. It's got all kinds of bubbles in it. It's doing really, really good. I'm so excited. So here I sit. I was planning for the worst, which she said is a good thing to do. I was planning on it taking the full 24 hours to get that leaven ready to make my first loaf of sourdough. And we're probably, 6 hours later, and it's ready. And that's another reason I was baking the bread, because she said if you bake with this type of stuff in your kitchen, it populates the yeasts of the dough, help populate your starter. This is Jovial, guys. I'm sorry, I can't turn this around anymore. Jovial, okay? That is what I'm using. It's an ancient grain. So what I'm going to do tomorrow now, is I'm going to get up early in the morning and I'm going to I've got all my recipe typed out. I've got all my notes taken. I love this lady because she does videos, okay? That's where I found the whole sourdough thing for her. YouTube Jovial has a channel, and I've been YouTubing and rewatching and watching and rewatching all of her videos. So I'm super duper excited. Tomorrow is going to be the day, and it's going to be whole wheat sourdough, except for the starter that's in it. Now there's like a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons. I don't remember. I measure everything on a scale. I do the grams. I don't measure it with a cup or anything like that, which is best. When, so many times we just assume that a measuring cup is right. And I know I have 2 different tablespoons, and it's like, there is no way. These things are not the same size. So I have been weighing everything, and all of this stuff comes out, when I made this today, 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of the sourdough starter. Now, I put my starter in the refrigerator, and I'll probably try to refresh it one time through the week. And then if next weekend I feel like I could bake that loaf of bread, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now, I got my fingers crossed because, like I said, the einkorn just this way was really, really good for Dave's, not really, really good, but it was decent for Dave's blood sugar. And I know what's in it. I don't have all the wonky ingredients that we don't even know what they are. Plus some water, and then I use the whole grain einkorn in that leaven that I've got going. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to be up baking bread. Not only that, I'm going to bake Texas sheet cake tomorrow. I think we're going to have a few people around, and Dave's been wanting a Texas sheet cake. So anyway, hey Karen. So like I was saying, guys, that's kind of my update on my sourdough experience. Tomorrow should be the day with a little bit of news. I'll let you know how it affects Dave's blood sugars. Got my fingers crossed. I don't know whether it's going to take a while to raise it. So I don't know if I'll get it in the oven in the morning or if it's going to take a little bit longer. My house has been pretty cool. We've had really cool weather the last couple of days, so it might be tomorrow afternoon before I can get it in the oven and get it baked. But I'm stoked. I'm really excited, hoping that it comes out right. I've bought a lot of things that I'm really hoping that, that it works. Like I said, regular all-purpose flour in sourdough bread. It's the way the fermentation goes. They say it's not as bad for diabetics, so I'm hopeful that with this special flour and being whole wheat, that we will get to where we need to be, and Dave will be able to have a loaf of bread. I also did see when I was watching their videos, they have a bread machine recipe. So I may, it might be such a thing that sourdough will be a treat every now and then, but I'll be able to bake the whole wheat in the bread machine a little more often. So that's all I got for today, guys. I just kind of wanted to update you. A few people have been asking and trying to help out, and I appreciate everybody wanting to help. But with this special flour, I'm really focused in on this one gal. Now, if you have used this flour and you know what you're doing, whoa, yes, get in touch with me. I'm all ears, okay? So, super excited. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I'll let you know how it goes. And that's all I have for today. But if you need to be in my group, Diabetic Eats with Jan and Dave, drop it in the comments. Or just search it yourself. Either way, I'll get you, you can find the link, Diabetic Eats with Jan and Dave on Facebook. Drop it in the comments. I'll get you a link there. If you need information about these great products. I couldn't wait to get home today. I thought we were going to be home sooner, and I really needed my afternoon pick-me-up because we're going to be late getting home tonight. So it's like I got to get home and get me a pink drink. So if you need information on these things that have helped us lose 150 pounds combined, or have the mental stability to be able to go all the time with these grandkids, it'd be great for you just to drop info in the comments, and I'll get back to you with information about these. So enjoy the rest of your Saturday, guys. Karen, I will get you a link to the group in just a few minutes. And remember, guys, smile, pass that smile on. We'll chat with y'all later. Bye-bye.